This presentation will walk you through the steps that you need to take to create your own digital story using PhotoStory. Before you start using PictureStory, there are a few things that you need to do. First, you need to create a storyboard of your text. You need to add notes showing which pictures you intend to use with which text, and you need to have all of your pictures in one file in one folder. When you first bring up PhotoStory, you see this first splash screen, and it's already set for you to begin a new story. This is a wizard-based program, and so you will be directed down here of which screen to go to next after you've completed the screen above. So we'll go to next. The first thing that you do is import your pictures. That's why it's a good idea to have them all in one place. So if you click on Import Pictures and go to how about My Pictures and pick up some pictures, you can select them all at once and say OK, and you see that they have all gone into your timeline here. You can do some minimal editing here, correcting red eye and turning things around if they're not quite right, but generally they should be the way you want before you bring them in. In this timeline, you can move pictures around just by grabbing them and moving them, sliding one down to the other. The other option here is to remove black borders, and if you decide to go on to the next screen, it will actually ask you, it will tell you that you have some black borders in your screen. Do you want to continue without removing black borders? Here's what that means. If you have a picture that is upright and it doesn't quite fit the screen, it will be put in with black borders around it. The program is offering to remove those borders, but you see you pay a price for that. It makes it fit the screen, but it may lop off part of the picture that you want. You may decide to leave those black borders, in which case you would answer this question, yes. If you want to remove them, you say no. On this screen also you can add a title to the picture. So right here where it says type text, add title, you would just type some text. You have a certain limited ability to move the text up and down like that. So if you wanted a footnote, you could do it down there. Be aware that when you put text on the screen, that prevents the motion that you will see in the next couple slides. But for now, we'll just put that text on there and move to the next slide. Here's where you add your audio portion. You can cut and paste the narration to use here, or you can read from a piece of paper, as long as you don't move that piece of paper around so much that the microphone picks it up all the time. So basically you click on record narration, and when you're finished you click on the stop, and then your narration will be attached to this slide. If you want to see a preview, you can click preview. Well, let's go to the next. Okay, here you can either select music that you have on your own drive, or you can create music. Selecting music is just a process of browsing for it. Creating music is a process of choosing first a genre and then a style, and You can hear what it sounds. You can set the tempo, make it faster or slower. You can hear what it sounds like to see whether it's what you want. And when you've picked one, you say OK. Now, if you'll notice that because this slide was selected, the music started here. The music will start whichever slide is selected. So if you wanted music from the beginning, you would click here first. Okay, you'd probably want to preview that, but for now, why don't you save your story. It saves it in a place where you can browse to and find a spot for it. It will save it as a 640 by 480. That's a fairly good sized screen level, and all you have to do is say next, and it will create it. Now it's creating the music, the slides. This is the output file. It's creating a WMV file, but you also want to save your project file. That's this whole bunch of directions that you've given to the computer, and the way you do that is you say save project, and you can give it a name or just let it name itself and say save. Now you can go back and edit that story later. So and here you can view the story that you've created. It always comes up with that. And here's our story. Not much to it, a bunch of clouds. The default time, if you don't put a narration in there, is about 5 seconds. When the narration is in there, it will automatically start and stop when you start and stop talking. And there it is. Congratulations.